Hey guys, Preston here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're here with another Steelers post-game show. First thing I want to do is apologize for the lack of uploads recently. I was in Orlando, Florida all of last week, didn't get home till the weekend. I was already dead tired at that point. But hey, so I missed previews and post-games for the Steelers matchup against the Browns as well. As well as the preview for the Titans. And I also missed the preview and post-game on my Notre Dame series for the Pitt game. I missed the preview and the post game for Pitt, and the preview for Louisville. I actually got in the post game for Louisville, but I missed the preview for it. Okay, so to get into this game, I think the best way to describe it, I'm sure most of you agree, would be a tale of two halves. I've never gone from pure joy to pure frustration so fast in my life. It was a typical Steelers heart attack game, you could say. I think it shaved years off my life, it's never fun. So let's kind of get into it, I guess. Let's focus on the good first, because I like being nice and positive. And if we're talking good, we're talking first half. Let's just talk about the first half. I mean, we did very well the first half. We got the ball first to start the game. We chose to receive. And we found that field pretty effectively and efficiently, and it ended up with a Deontay Johnson pass on a dot right through two people to Deontay Johnson for the touchdown. Beautiful way to start the game. Drove down, took a lot of time. We were really good on time of possession in the first half. That was a huge thing for us. And we limited Derrick Henry. Very good. I think even in the second half we did pretty good. I mean, he still finished the game with under 80 yards. I mean, under 100 would have been good enough, but under 80 is even better, So, not bad considering what Derrick Henry has done to other teams. I mean, the dude had 200 rushing yards last week. So I wouldn't say we did a pretty good job. But we did really good the first half. That was the key. The only reason we won this game is because of how good we did in the first half. We controlled the ball. The offense was driving at will. The defense got Tennessee off the field quick when they did have a chance to get the ball. Ray McCloud had an awesome punt return. I mean, just shout out to Ray McCloud real quick. The fact that he was a guy on no one's radar. None of us were thinking about him, talking about him. He got signed late in camp, just a body to have out there for training camp, which is, teams do that sometimes. Obviously, you need the bodies for the reps to really figure out who's going to be the guy. Especially without a preseason, I thought, man, it'd be even harder for new guys to make the team like that. But came in short notice. Beat out Ryan Switzer, is an excellent return specialist, man. He's great. You give him space, he's moving. He's giving us way more production than Ryan Switzer ever could have. And he's not fumbling these punts like Deontay did once or twice. No, don't want him to fumble anymore. But yeah, Ray's done really well for us on special teams. So shout out to Ray McCloud. I think our special teams as a whole was actually better today. I don't like giving credit to certain people, but I mean, you got to give credit. Did Jordan Berry play this game? I think he did. And that's something we want to look at. How did he punt? Yeah, he punted twice yesterday. All game, twice. But he averaged 50 yards per punt. So, I mean, his average was 50. His net average was 47.5. Both punts went inside the 20. So Jordan Berry had a good game. He's back. I'm not going to lie. I thought the move was interesting to say the least. Colquitt we signed. I was excited about Colquitt. Didn't pan out. I guess the age got to him. But we got him for cheap. He was cheaper than Berry's original contract. So, you know what? Hey, we took a chance. Thought it'd work out. It didn't. His net was pretty bad, too. So, I just thought the move was curious. More like, so we're going to replace the punter that we signed with the punter we cut before we signed this guy. Because that makes sense, right? We cut him clearly because we didn't think he was good enough. But now he's back. So, either way, I mean, I'm rooting for him. Let's hope he does well. I was hoping maybe we'd get to see the practice squad punter today. I mean, on the game, but we did not. It was Berry right away. I thought there was some COVID protocols. Maybe, I don't know if since he's been with the team before, something he got to skip him. I don't know how it worked, but he was there and he punted. So, hey, he did good, though. So, credit to Jordan Berry. Hey, my first ever shout out to Jordan Berry. Maybe, hopefully not the last. If he does well every game, I'm going to credit him every time. But this first half, like I said, we were on fire. 24 points in the first half. There's a miscue at the end of that half where the momentum was shifting a little bit, where we could have just easily had a field goal there to make it 27-7 at the end of the half, but instead, 3rd and 13, Ben threw in the triple coverage. The Juju, who had a linebacker, basically tackling him already. I mean, they said good coverage, so I'll say good coverage. Obviously, I'm biased, but I thought maybe he was there a bit early, but whatever. It was in Juju's hands for like a second, and it popped out, tipped up, caught by the Titans. There was a lot of, I'm going to say this, I was mad this whole game. There's a lot of stress, but there's so much ball luck for this Titans team. It drove me insane. Everything just seemed to be going their way, especially after halftime. If you watched it, there was like at least 6 tipped balls. I'm pretty sure every pick, I think literally every pick was off a tip ball. I don't remember a Big Ben pass that just went straight to a DB. They were all tipped. One was tipped at the line. One was tipped, I think 2 were tipped in people's hands. Which is, I mean, like, what are you going to do? That's infuriating. The fact that the balls just were magically right where a player could get them is just another part of just how the game kind of went. Because on the other side of the ball, what I'll get to eventually, the Steelers team, I'll bring it up now, I guess, because I'm kind of already on the point. I ramble, guys. You should be used to this by now. 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 6 pass deflections, 0 picks. 6 times we could have had a pick. You know, our hands were on the ball. No. One of them went right through Sutton's hands. There's so many other there's tip balls from us too. The ball would get tipped, and with us, it's just no one was there for it. Like Hayden would be like 2 steps away, or like he'd be right past it, and some dumb stuff. There's so many times it's like that could have been a pick. Just be there, and it didn't happen for us. And it happened for the Titans 3 times. And so the football gods were not on our side, and we still won. That's my only explanation. They were against us with this turnover battle. I will say, though, it's not very often you lose the turnover battle 3-0 and you still win the game. So credit to us for finding a way to do that. But yeah, so after that play at halftime, it's literally when it started to all unravel and all come down. We blocked that punt. The punt got screwed up. He threw it. It was all a mess. You remember that? They gave us a good field position where we could have added another field goal, which would have made this game a little more comfortable, because if we still scored the 3 in the third like we would have, it would have been a 30-24 finish, or they would have had to go for a touchdown, although maybe that changed how the game turned out. So I'm not going to dig too deep into it. We won the game. That's all that matters. 6-0 is hard to reach. I don't care what anyone says. Criticize the win all you want. We had an excellent first half and did the bare minimum in the second half to hold on, and we got it done. So, let's get into offense real quick. Big Ben, he's like the definition of this tale of 2 halves. Had an excellent first half. It was great the first half. Lights out the first half, basically. Wasn't missing throws. 2 touchdowns. The pick at the end, that was, you know, out of Juju's hands, but in triple coverage and should have never been thrown. Kind of thing. It's what he thought it was AB there for a second or something. I don't want to see that from Ben. He's got to cool that out, because he's looking like 2018 Steelers missed the playoffs Ben, when he's forcing too many balls. Like, you remember that Broncos game where he threw a pick to a defensive lineman at the end of the game, or that Patriots game where that Jesse James touchdown that should have been a touchdown was immediately followed by a poorly executed play and interception in the end zone. End zone interceptions are killers, and I don't want to see any more of them from Big Ben. But minus the vintage kind of scary 2018, oh, I'm a gunslinger, so I'm going to throw 3 picks. Ben, good job. Excellent first half. The second half, everyone seemed off. The whole offense seemed off. Not just Ben, so I'll give him a little bit of credit. But they were not getting anything going. I will give him credit even more to the point that the last drive... Wow, how was that? Was that the end zone pick? That was the end zone pick. What was the heck? Was there 2 end zone picks? I'm losing my mind, guys. I'm sorry. I have to see if there was. Because I felt like there was. I don't know if it shows picks on here. Sorry. I'm going to pause and find these picks. Okay, so there was one pick to end the half the first half when Eric Ebron backed us up with a dumb false start. He's got to chill on those false starts. He's had a couple of those so far this year. And then Ben kind of chucked it up on 1st and 15 going to Deontay. That was picked near the end zone, I believe. So that play killed the field goal attempt. The Juju pick I was talking about was the end of the game, our final offensive series, which was a really good series up until that point. And Ben got aggressive, threw in the triple coverage, and Juju just couldn't make the play. So, you know what happens? It happens. But, so, like I said, the first half, offense fired on all cylinders. Defense fired on all cylinders for the most part. Held them to only 7 to 1 touchdown in the first half. Not bad at all. The second half, we completely unraveled. It was unacceptable. It was infuriating. We had 3 points the entire half, which is not good enough. We've been a second half team most of the year where we make adjustments and get better. I think most fans, maybe, okay, I won't say most fans, but I thought, at least in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, this is like the same score we had against the Browns. Let's just finish this game. Let's do what we did. Let's keep the pressure on, end it early. We did not do that. We let them claw their way back in. We got outscored 17-3 in the second half, which is just simply, it's unexcusable. You can't do that. You can't get outscored 17-3 in a half. That's not a recipe for winning football at all. The only reason we won this game is because how good we were in the first half. So you give credit, but obviously it's hard not to focus on the second half because that was the most recent half of football we played heading into this Baltimore matchup, which is going to be probably our toughest game of the year. Obviously I'll do a preview for that game, so look forward to that. But Ben overall wasn't bad. I mean, 32 of 49 is not horrible. The fact he threw 49 times seems like much. A game we were winning, huge. I feel like we probably should have focused on the run game more. Unless they were just simply getting shut down. I think they did it. The Titans defense did a better job in the second half. I won't lie. They made good adjustments too. But it's the offense's job to also adjust to counter those adjustments. And we failed to do that. I still don't like our offensive coordinator. I think most people probably agree with that. Randy Fichtner, they praised him last game on the commentators. Like, no, you don't know him like we do, man. He's not anything. He was a quarterback coach whose last coordinator experience was a Memphis college, Memphis University in 2004 or something. So it's like he's here because he's Ben's friend, and I don't know if that's always the best recipe for success. So I don't like either of our coordinators, but we're 6-0, so there's not a chance they're getting fired. I'll take 6-0 any day though, obviously. So I'm nitpicking, guys. You're gonna call me negative and all that, but it's kind of what this video would be nothing if I wasn't focusing on some of these things. And especially a game like this. The Browns one, I probably would have been a little more happy-go-lucky, a lot more fun, super excited. But this game was stressful as crap. And if we're being honest, to me, the momentum was not our way. And the only reason we escaped overtime is because the Titans missed a 40-yard field goal. That's not usually how you want to win a game, So don't call me a fake fan or whatever all you want. That part, that annoys me. I don't know if any of you have felt like that before. It just drives me crazy that we have fans of teams that fight each other over this. There's a group of fans who think you can't criticize the team. Everything they do is perfect. They're the gods. They do nothing wrong. Oh, 3 picks? Doesn't matter. It's Big Ben. We won. Who cares that he threw 3 interceptions? He can throw 15 a game for all I care. And then you got guys. There are guys who probably go overboard too. Probably the EDPs of the world, we freaking suck. I'm done. I took all my stuff off the wall. I'm switching teams. Stuff like that. I will never do that. But I am highly critical of my teams. And I think that's kind of what a fan's job is. Sorry, I'm ranting again. But I feel, you know what I mean? It's a fan's job. We're supposed to be more critical of the team. We know the team. When someone insults you, if you don't know them, you're like, you don't know me. It doesn't matter. But when you know the person, that's when you're supposed to be more critical and constructive of the things more. So I feel like if it's my job as a fan, I'm supposed to love this team and be invested in them, I should be more reactive to things they do than other people. But either way, I digress. Running wise, let's get into some of the numbers. Like I said, Ben was 32 of 49, 268 yards. So I think decent amount of passing yards, almost hit 300. Like I said, they threw more this game than ever. I don't know. They probably abandoned the run game a little bit, but we won. So but I wish they probably would have honed in on it a bit more. 2 touchdowns, which was nice. The 3 picks, tough. They're tough. But like I said, the ball luck was insane, and all the tips were falling right into Titans' hands. So I'm not going to put all that on Ben. It's rather unfortunate. That's just tip after tip after tip. Our offensive line, I don't know enough of the X's and O's there to know if the offensive line can do anything to stop these defensive linemen from just hopping up and whacking everything down. But the Titans did a very, very good job at tipping everything. So hopefully we can work on some of that stuff. James Conner had a relatively good game, 20 carries, 82 yards, averaging 4.1. Can't really complain about that performance. Not bad at all. Had a fumble, which is not what you want to see. We got to work on that. Like I said, putting balls on the ground is unexcusable. This was Conner's first fumble all year, though, and I think we did recover it, so I'll give him that. Could have been worse, but hey, never want to see a fumble. But hey, overall, good job, Conner. I said but hey like 5 times, sorry. Benny Snell had a touchdown, but every other running back's numbers were incredibly pedestrian. Samuels had 1 for 5. McFarland had 1 for 6. So that's good averages there on the 1 carry, but only 1 carry. Snell was 2 for 2, but did have a touchdown, so, not bad at all. Big Ben had no rushing numbers. Obviously, it's Ben. He doesn't usually scramble. Receiving-wise, this was a game where the Titans, I would have to assume they had a game plan coming into this that Claypool is our number 1 now, and we're shutting him down. They did. That's not something you want to see. Hopefully that doesn't kill Claypool's confidence there. He had only 1 reception for -2 yards, which is not what you want to see. They kind of just stopped throwing to him kind of into that, maybe even a quarter into the game. There was one play. He did do his job still. I mean, the numbers aren't there, but he did draw a defensive pass interference once or twice. So, good job, Claypool there. You won't get the stats. That's something James Washington has done in the past, too, where that would have been a catch, that would have been stats, but they grabbed you instead. So, hey, we get 15 yards, but you don't get your numbers, unfortunately. But due to Claypool, like I said, that's what I love about this offense kind of now is like you shut one guy down, guess what? We still have others. So Claypool was down today, but it was Juju and Deontay's time to shine. Deontay's game back, coming out party. Man, like I said, we threw the ball a lot, and Big Ben really threw it towards Deontay and Juju. Juju had 14 targets. Deontay had 15. A lot of balls gone their way. They both had 9 catches, so they don't have a drop stat, so I honestly can't remember how many they dropped. I don't remember any, because I probably would have remembered that and been mad about it. So I think the ones that were towards them that were the targets that he didn't catch were just, too high, too low. It's kind of typical Ben stuff. He's still overthrowing some dudes time to time, just failing to connect a couple times each game still. But each had 9 receptions, a good duo today. Juju had his best game in a while, probably since week 1 where he had 2 touchdowns against the Giants. 9 receptions, 85 yards. No touchdown, but he was the reason we drove the field that last drive. Obviously, I'm gonna put a little bit on him for that pick at the end of the game because it was in his hands at one point and it popped out. It was a really good play by their linebacker though, so I can't put that all on him. And obviously, it should have never been thrown. You shouldn't throw to a guy in triple coverage. But hey, it happened. Things happen. But outside of that play, Juju, very good game. Like I said, he was the most dependable receiver that final drive. Pretty much every third down conversion, the drive down the field and take up as much time as possible was the Juju. Deontay had an excellent game. 9 receptions, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Way to burst back into the scene, show what he was worth. Had that wiggle to him still. He's getting the separation. He was becoming Ben's favorite target before he got hurt. Unfortunately, he hurt his ankles again this game. But from what I've heard, I think he even said it, he expects to be ready and playing against Baltimore, which will be huge for us. Eric Ebron had his best game yet, from what I believe. No fumbles. Don't really remember a drop this game. 6 catches on 8 targets, so not bad at all. Pretty good game from Eric Ebron. 50 yards, no touchdowns, but hey, solid. Ebron did good. He's doing his job. Definitely get more tight end production this year with Big Ben than we could have imagined with Hodges and Rudolph. JC also did his job in the receiving game. 3 catches for 29 yards. Obviously, the fumble happened, but I think that was a running play. It might have been a pass play. It doesn't matter. He fumbled once. But not bad. Running back those plays aren't always designed to get a ton of yards. It's usually his last option to check down, but did what he was supposed to. Vance McDonald had some catches today, so good for him. Nice to see him back in action. Caught each of his 2 targets for 14 yards. Not bad. Moved the chains at least once, so that's kind of a good thing to see. Raylan McLeod also had 2 catches. Caught both his targets for 12 yards. Not bad at all. McFarland and Washington also, they had a target, but the ball did not end up in their hands. I don't remember those ones exactly, so I can't tell you what happened. I think the McFarland one might have been one of those batted down by the defensive linemen, but I don't know if they count that as the target or not. But either way, Deontay, Juju, great games, showing you what this young receiving room still can do. Claypool obviously took a backseat today, a real rough backseat. Hopefully he can bounce back against Baltimore. I wonder, it'll be interesting to see who the Ravens try to shut down. Obviously, they have good corners. They have two good corners. So I wonder who they're going to put Humphrey on, who's their number one, and who they're going to put Peters on, obviously their number two. I wonder if this game will make them decide to have Humphrey on Juju again, or if they'll still stick to the Titans' game plan of trying to shut down Chase Claypool. Boz was perfect. Again, Wizard of Boz, 2 for 2, long of 38, hit all of his extra points as well. He has his holder back in Barry. I don't know if that changed anything, but they looked good today, got everything done. McLeod had 83 yards on 3 punt returns, which is what I was saying. Excellent game from Ray. Ray had the one that it was so close to a touchdown. I think if he would have just cut outside, it would have been a touchdown, but we still scored a TD on the drive anyways, thanks to his great field position. Defensively, really good first half, like I said. Suspect second half is what I also said. I would love to see some turnovers by this defense. It's what we were built to do. We led the league in turnovers last year. We had none this game. No fumbles forced, no interceptions. I mentioned some of that ball luck that went to Titans way all day. Definitely did not go our way. Like I said, we had 6 pass deflections, and none of them ended up back in our hands for a turnover. One ball went right through Sutton's hands. Edmonds was close to a pick at one point, which would have been, I think, his first pick of his career. I do want to shout out Edmonds, though. Edmonds had a good game. I mean, I want to give him a lot of credit. He had a better game than Minka. Minka disappointed me, and we'll talk about that play that happened. But Edmonds is looking better, guys. He might be doing that Bud Dupree, it's taking him 4 years to develop now kind of window. But, hey, third season. And he's doing good. He's still not getting picked. I don't think he's ever had a pick in his career, so hopefully that changes soon. He can catch one eventually. He was close today, like I said. But there's not, what can you do? Hilton was out, so obviously I think that affected the secondary a little bit. Justin Lane got some more playing time, but his only stat was a tackle. Hayward's been quiet again. Obviously, I think you can probably, I don't know his pressure rate. I'm sure he's still generating pressures, though. But the man we just gave a huge contract to, I was hoping he could get some sacks again. Like last year, he had a 9-sack season. It'd be nice to see some of that production show up. Tuitt didn't register any sacks today or TFLs. Like I said, his pressure rate is probably up there. And Tuitt's been a beast all year for us. Alu as well. Not only 2 sacks today, which is kind of uncharacteristic of the Steelers defense, especially with the fact that this Titans O-line is not that good and their starting left tackle was out. I think it was the left. So Bud Dupree, really nothing. He's not even on the stat sheet on this. I don't know if he registered a single tackle. He had nothing. He had a blank stat sheet, which is really disappointing from the guy we're paying $15 million on the franchise tag. Want to see more from him. Obviously, he's good. He's been dominant all the other games. It's just you would expect against a backup tackle in a game like this, he should have gotten more production. Rather unfortunate. And I think, although to be fair to them, they mainly ran it at TJ all day, which was, from what people talked about, that seemed like their game plan because Bud Dupree has been really good in the run defense all year, and so it was hit TJ's side. Also, that's where their better offensive linemen were at the moment. But TJ, credit to TJ, he was wrapping up Henry. He had 3 tackles for loss and a sack. Got the sack, 2 sacks today, kept the streak going. But TJ pulled his own weight in the run game, which is something we knew he was in general, he's way better pass rusher than a run stuffer. But he did his job, did really good. Joe Hayden ended up with 7 tackles, so not bad. A pass deflection. Like I said, there's some times, it always seemed like this zone when we were getting picked apart. And I hate zone defense with our team. It drives me crazy because quarterbacks who know what they're doing always pick us apart, and that's what Tannehill did when they were driving the field, all the scoring drives. Just zones with huge holes. I don't know. It's got to be a communication thing because no one would go over these guys, and there's multiple times where Titans were catching balls completely uncontested, wide open. Drove me crazy. Vince Williams again had himself a day. It made sense in a game that was a lot of running involved. The Titans love to run the ball. This isn't new information. Vince had 10 tackles, led the team. 10 tackles, which 9 of them were solo. 2 TFLs again, and a sack. So Vince Williams is not getting the credit he deserves nationally, which doesn't surprise me. Most of our team doesn't. But Vince has been on fire this year. Big shout out to Vince Williams. Called him Vince, but it's Vince, whatever. It's fun either way. 10 tackles. So, for doing players of the game here, offensively, I'm going Deontay. Juju was close too. I thought about giving it to Juju, but the fact Deontay had the 2 touchdowns and it was his first game back from injury. Shout out to Deontay Johnson. 9 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Welcome back to the game, buddy. That was a great game. Excellent by Deontay. Sucks he got hurt. Hopefully he'll be okay. And obviously on defense, I just praised him, so you know who I'm going with. I'm going with Vince Williams. He also played a huge role in this run game. I mean, TJ gets credit too. Like I said, he's probably number 2 on my list. Spillane did okay. I mean, 3 tackles, it's not bad. Obviously, he had that play where he met Henry right at the line to stop his touchdown. I think he got shaken up a bit there, but hopefully he's good to go by next week. I still think we should probably trade for a middle linebacker. I like Spillane. I think he's a very solid backup, and these are very valuable reps for him to get to be good depth for us next year. But I think if there's an opportunity to get a guy like Avery Williamson from the Jets, he's just better. He's just better. I mean, it's not a slight towards Spillane. It's just the fact that, starting middle linebackers on other teams are probably better than our backups are. It's not crazy. So I'd love to be able to get a guy like Avery Williamson. Minka, I want to talk about that. He killed us. The last drive of the game, they went for it on 4th down, and that's the play I'm talking. They went through a throwing play where Tannehill rolled out to the right, threw a ball. Great play by, I think it was Edmonds, to break it up. It would have been a turnover on downs if not for Minka egregiously holding a tight end, just running it and out on the other side of the field. That ball was never going his way, but Minka got caught, got beat by a freaking tight end, and held on to him for dear life. And that hurt us. That screwed us. That hurt us big time. You can't. That's something you can't do. It's on the list of things you can never do. Get a penalty on a 4th down try for the other team. Yeah, that's a big one. That hurt. Want to see more. Obviously, that pick 6 last week was beautiful, but didn't register any pass defenses or INTs today. Got tackles. 5 tackles, not bad. Make a good job. But that penalty is unexcusable. And I'm sure he knows that too, so I don't want to crap on him. I don't like crapping on our guys, especially when we're 6-0. But that's just a mistake you can't make. I mean, we had penalties again that hurt us. We had 7 penalties that game, and that's just, gotta clean it up. Too many penalties this year. Really gotta clean it up. Shout out to the defense's holdout. Like I said, we held Derrick Henry to 75 yards, which is under 80 yards, under 100. Usually, if you can hold a guy to under 100, it's a successful day for the running game. But to hold him to 75 yards on 20 carries, that means James Conner actually did better today. James Conner out-dueled Derrick Henry. Conner had 82 yards on 20 attempts. Henry had 75 yards on 20 attempts. So, successful day in terms of stopping Henry. Obviously, and I'm pretty sure most of those yards came in that second half we were talking about. But overall, this game, stressful as it was, excellent first half. Let's play like that. If we play like the first half every day, we're 16-0. We can never play like the second half again, though. That's what worries me. They get a week, they hone back in. I know Mike Tomlin's a great coach, so hopefully he'll get them back in the groove. Let them know you can't play like that. They really kind of just put their foot off the gas. They felt like they were out of it in the second half. Really don't know what happened. But now we have an even tougher test going on the road against Baltimore. This should have been our bye week. I hate the Titans still for that. Screw you, Titans. COVID ruined us, messed us up. So now we're going into this Titans game kind of injured still and without a bye week. So makes it even tougher, but hey, it's what we're built for. It's what teams are built for. This Steelers team needs to face some adversity. This was our toughest game of the year, holding off a comeback. It's a good thing to get some of these close games in our system. You don't want to. It can't be too easy. You need some of this adversity in the test to build your championship caliber team. So thank you guys for watching so much. Let me know who your players of the game were. Mine were Deontay Johnson and Vince Williams. Let me know if you agree with anything I said, you think we need to do better, etc. Any comments you have, really, if you want to discuss Steelers football at all, I'm more than willing to talk to you with you in the comments. I love doing it. Sorry I rambled. This is a 30-minute video. First video back, though, so I got to go big. Oh, by the way, repping the Minka away jersey. Don't have anything set up in the background. I was doing it quick today. So, yes, click over here for the playlist of my other Steelers fans' reactions, my post-game reactions to all the games we've had so far this year, and a couple from last season. Right here is where you can click to subscribe. It'd mean a lot. I'm trying to hit 150 at some... the end of the year seems too ambitious, but hey, I mean, let's do it. If we can hit 150 by the end of the year, that'd be amazing. Even 140. Let's see, one sec. Yeah, I'm at 131, so if I can get 9 more subscribers by the end of the year, it'd mean a lot. So tell your friends, or if you have watching and haven't subscribed yet, please do. I post Steelers and Notre Dame football if you're interested, content weekly. I also post some other random sports videos here and there with like the Pittsburgh Penguins, Indiana Pacers, etc. Sometimes big topics like that. So yeah, click over here to subscribe. It'd mean a lot. And over here is just a random video of mine YouTube has decided to recommend for you. This is K-May Preston signing out. Go Steelers. See you next week.